Senator, you just alluded to some of the protests we have seen since being here in Chicago, though they have been, I think it's fair to say, smaller in scale than many expected or even feared coming into this week when it comes to the protests over the war ongoing in Gaza. Has it surprised you the degree to which they haven't been as disruptive or as robust? And do you think that may be attributable to the change in candidate? This isn't Biden's convention, it's Harris's.
I think that's it. I think you put your finger on it. Plus, there was a conscious effort by the mayor and other leaders to work with the demonstrators and say, we will protect your First Amendment rights, but we're not going to condone violence and vandalism. We just not accept it. We're not going to accept that. And so the police have done a good job here, I think. And when you consider past conventions, that is a very positive thing to say. But the bottom line, as far as I'm concerned, is we understand and they understand. If the alternative is Donald Trump in making these foreign policy decisions, they're willing to work with Kamala Harris to see if there's a reasonable way to resolve these.
Is that right? And Joe Biden has struggled to reach a ceasefire here. It was back in May when he rolled out that initial 6-point plan, and he says he's going to make this the priority for the rest of his term. If he cannot secure a ceasefire, is Kamala Harris going to have an easier time doing it?
Well, it's a big challenge for whoever has it, coming up with the agreement and then enforcing it.
Yeah.
But we all know, at least I feel, I was the first senator to say so, that there should be a ceasefire and stop military operations and release the hostages. That, I think, was the starting point to eventually finding some solution in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. I've been disappointed with Mr. Netanyahu when it comes to a two-state solution. I believe in it. I think that's been our policy in the past and should be again.
Well, obviously, he wants to see that done. As I mentioned earlier, he also would like to see reforms to the Supreme Court, something that would take congressional cooperation. And I'm not sure, sir, how realistic you think that may be, which brings us to the point of whether or not you have more faith now than you would have maybe 4 weeks ago for your party to retain control of the Senate, for you to be able to retain your place as the majority whip.
There is no question there is a new spirit and energy in the Democratic Party for this election. It started when the decision was made by Joe Biden to step aside, a selfless decision that I respect him for very much. And that new attitude and approach is something that Donald Trump's been unable to match. He just can't do it, and he's frustrated by it. That's why he says these bizarre things about, we'll have one election, this will be the last one. What in the hell is he talking about? This is America. He doesn't get to dictate it. The Constitution makes it clear what the law is. And he's reaching out in every direction, flailing away because this is a new candidate he didn't anticipate.